Hello there, friends, and welcome to the Monday Show 45. I'm your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend, Roots. Roots, how has your week been treating you so far?
Oh, the Monday. Yeah, we were just talking about the Great Monday Show and how you put the Monday behind you, right? Well, my Monday's still fucked up, Wes. Like my Rift S isn't working. I got 3 dots. I can't get it to start up. Like no matter what I do, I can't get it to come back up. What's weird is I started. Okay, so it tells me to restart the software. I restart the software, and then once I put it on, I get the 3 dots. I take off the headset. It says restart the software. So if
Yeah,
anybody's been through that, no, go ahead.
yeah, I've had that happen to me before, actually. It's USB issues, is what it always is. What I would do is I would restart your computer, and then instead of just Xing out of the Oculus software and bringing it back up, bring up the Oculus Tray tool, and there's a restart Oculus service button in there.
Mm.
Click that and restart it. And generally, that works a lot better for me
It's
than
it,
just a.
it's funny you said that because that was my next step. I was going to run the tray tool and at least stop it with that because that actually physically stops it. I think that's the problem. It's like not. I don't know. I just wanted to play some Good Goliath, Wes. I just wanted to play a little bit more before the show, and then once that happened, I said, okay, screw it. I'm just going to get ready for the show. But then my camera wouldn't come up. And then it was my audio, and yeah, it's just been one of those days. So yeah, I'm glad it's.
Hey, dude, that's why it's the Monday show, right? Because this is why we need the Monday show. It's because of shit like that. Everybody has that shit on Monday, right? This show is kind of the one good thing about Monday. It's kind of the purpose here.
Yeah, well, hopefully Hussein X is right. It says it happened to him when he first got his Rift S, and it fixed itself. Now it is weird. When I first hooked it up, it had some kind of firmware issues, like updating it at first.
Yeah,
And
it was just an update that rolled out. Mine did the same thing. My Quest.
yeah, so
Scion
yeah.
says, "Do you mean CV1?"
No, not CV1. No, I got that. I don't know. I got the Rift S, man. And I ditched that. See, you missed the last show apparently because I talked about it. But no, I remember when the last time we were playing something together, Cyan. I was telling you it was cutting down to 40 frames. I was trying to give you a little hint, a little inside tip, but you didn't catch it. So,
Well, let it be known. Dude, I think it's just the season to buy hardware. I mean, you got your Rift S, right? And it was Zaylen Maru says his Pi Max should be getting here sometime this week. The pre-orders for the HP Reverb G2 have just now expanded beyond the United States, and there are 8 more countries now that can pre-order. And I'm leaning very heavily toward pre-ordering, and I don't know. I might do it before the end of the day, Roots.
yeah,
I feel like I'm falling behind in line here. You know.
why not? And then if you don't like it, you could always return it.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Or if like Oculus announces something, or Sony something that I'd rather have coming in within the next year, then I can just cancel my pre-order. You know.
Onikazi. I've been playing the USB swapperoo for like 20, 30 minutes, man. I must have tried every single one I had. This was weird too, Wes. It actually told me the display port wasn't hooked up. I had to switch display ports as well. And that was the first time that's ever happened.
That too is a USB issue. I've had it tell me the exact same thing before, but I only have one display port, I think, on my card, and yeah, I've never actually switched it. I've just always plug and unplug and restart, and then use that Oculus tool, and generally that works through every problem that I had
Now,
when I was.
remember the Rift S I was telling you last week when Cyan didn't see when I was talking about the Rift S. I was telling you that the Walmart I had another one, right? So my friend texted me today and he said, where did you get that Rift S? So I told him the one. He actually drove down there and just picked it up. They had at least two in stock. And that's great. Okay, so everyone says great. There's two in stock. I mean, that's not that. Ooh, they went out of overboard with two. The thing is nobody else has it, and apparently they've got enough out there that everybody's not sucking them up from out of state. For them to be still there in that store for a week, I mean, that's telling me that Walmart's got a good stock of Rift S right now. So if you need a Rift S, that's where you should be checking. Walmart. Apparently, I guarantee somewhere in your town probably has some in stock today. You could go pick it up. So
Yeah, man, they're starting to come back around, and 'tis the season, man. We all need a little bit better, right?
yeah, absolutely. It was so good that the graphically or the graphics upgrade. It just looks so sharp.
Right, right. And it's like putting on a new pair of glasses or something, right? Everything just snaps in ever so clearly, and then you remember what you were missing out on, right?
Exactly. Now, Ray, you know us better than that. There's no spoilers on Iron Man. Wes is going to be talking about Iron Man, but he won't give you any spoilers for
Yeah, there will
sure.
be absolutely no story discussion when it comes to Iron Man. I'm just going to discuss the structure of the game, what you actually do in the game, uh, and just the general stuff, the level of production values and any potential problems that might arise with it. No story discussion whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know. I'm in the dark on how Wes feels about this. So,
Well, I guess this would be as good a time as any to start talking about it, right? So, Marvel's Iron Man VR came out this past Friday, July 3rd, and this was a much, highly anticipated game. This is a long-awaited PSVR exclusive, and I don't know how long it's going to be a PSVR exclusive, but at least for right now, it's a PSVR exclusive. And this is the one, right? This is the one that the PSVR community have been pointing to for the better part of the last 6 to 9 months, uh, whenever things got bleak and there wasn't much to look forward to on PlayStation VR. There was always Iron Man VR. Everyone's been hyped up for it, and finally, after a couple of delays, we got it this past Friday, and we've been playing the demo for the last month. And I got to say, uh, first of all, that the demo is fun in on its own. And if this is a game that you're on the fence about buying, because it is a $40 game, the demo is a fairly good representation of what the game is going to play like. Now, obviously, it expands and it gets better as in gains depth as time goes on, but you can discern from the gameplay and story sequences in the demo what you're going to get when you buy this game.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, but I mean there was some commotion, right? Like there was a little bit this wasn't a buttery smooth release. Um
Well,
s- I mean, not that I have no idea what you're going to say, but I mean, obviously there's been weird talk. Let's just put it that way on that I wouldn't have expected. And you'll elaborate on what that is
well,
shortly. So,
well,
but
well, it's an odd thing, right? You know, when a game is as hyped up as this one, people kind of get uh, the expectation that the game is going to be nearly perfect. And even though there aren't a lot of negative things being said about the game, the fact that there are any at all kind of sticks out like a sore thumb, doesn't it? And people have had a few criticisms of the game, and that's because there are issues with it. It is not by any means perfect, but as I went through the game, um, I found that the issues that it did have were all performance related. Every single one of them can be traced back to performance. So then it makes you wonder who should your criticism be for, right? Should it be for Sony for allowing things like this to get the final okay? Should it be on the developer for not being able to optimize a little bit better? Or is it just, we chalk it up to the PS4 being a 7-year-old machine and just look forward to the PS5 that's just coming in a few months. And I feel like when we play this game on PS5, that all of the problems that people have with it are just going to vanish.
okay. Now these problems didn't exist in the demo at all. That's because that was going to be my point with is what I mean. If the demo is so good and such a good representation, then how is everybody shocked by whatever performance issues it's having? Unless it's something that's just more like deeper
Let's
into the
look.
game.
No, there's no performance issues in the demo, but they don't happen very often in the game either. Uh, it's only something I noticed a couple of times, um, and it's just honestly, it's just basic performance issues. It's reprojection I experienced on a couple of times, and what makes it so shocking uh, is you don't get stuff like this on PSVR. You see it in PCVR all the time because people are jacking up the settings to the roof, but you never see it on a PSVR game. That stuff gets weeded out in the quality process. So just to see reprojection at all in a PSVR game is a shocking thing. And the really shocking thing about it is that it didn't take place during the action scenes.
Hmm.
You know, the way this game is structured is you alternate between an action scene where you're in the sky fighting the bad guys and a story scene, which generally takes place on the ground in Stark Mansion. It was when I was in the mansion, you know, moving around with node based teleportation, looking at these points of interest. It was then when I started to notice the
Hmm.
performance issues. And, I know what you're saying out there, what you're thinking. Well, there's another problem right there with the node based teleportation. How is node based teleportation a performance issue? Well, why do you think that they have that node based teleportation in the mansion? It's because of the performance issues. It's when
Hmm.
you're moving and you're rotating that you notice this reprojection. So I got to imagine that's got to be the reason why, right? That they would go to that style of movement in a 2020 VR game.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm shocked the fact that you're on a probe, bro. You know, like it's not like you're slimming it. So what is the slim doing? If I mean, I'd be interested to hear from some people on what they're getting if they're playing on the slim. If you're getting reprojection on the pro, unless it is just optimization. But yeah, and like I mean, they've delayed the hell out of everything so many times. Could they not have delayed a little bit more? And I mean, we would have bitched and said no, COVID.
But,
But you
but
know, um, I don't know, man. I mean, I guess if that's the only time you're seeing it and everything else is good, but so people in the chat were saying the node-based teleportation, people are freaking out about that as well. Some people.
well, it's not as bad as you think it is. It's not as good as like Blood and Truth, by the way. And I guess that kind of ties in here, right? Because that was the last big Sony exclusive, and we saw the same type of node-based movement in that. So it kind of just goes to show that it most likely is a performance thing, right? That's forcing these developers to kind of work around. But it's like the teleportation in this game is very much like the Batman VR game. You know how you can move around the mansion and the Batcave and stuff, node to node, checking out points of interest with interactive items. It's like that. Only the Stark Mansion is much bigger. There's a lot more to explore, and there's a lot more nodes. It really isn't all that bad because what this game does well is the action sequence anyway. And you just come down on the ground basically to progress the story a little bit, upgrade your armor, and select your mission, and then you're back into the sky again. So yeah, it would be nice if you could walk around and fully explore all of the area, but I get why you can't, because even standing at a node in a couple of different spots, there was reprojection. I got to imagine it would be a choppy mess if they just cut the player loose.
Yeah, I would imagine so as well. But everything else has been good though. You said this the action story or action gameplay is good.
Well, there is another big complaint that people are having about it, and it absolutely is true. It's the loading screens. There's a loading screen between every you know change. When you go into the skies to fight, you have to wait for that to load. When you come back to the mansion, you have to wait for that to load. And some of them are fairly quick, 15, 20, 30 seconds. Some of them are well over a minute long
Oh
though.
wow.
And you know that in today's age, especially for people who have been playing PCVR for the last 6 months, it kind of sticks out when you have to wait a minute. But again, Another problem that's going to disappear in a few months with the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, maybe they're making it so bad that when you get the 5, it's going to be such a selling point. Be like, hey,
It's not a bad game. See, this is the danger whenever there's any kind of criticism of one of these big releases. It comes off like like I don't like it. I love this game and I can't wait to get back in it and play it. But if I were to sit here and say that it were perfect, that wouldn't be honest either. The gameplay in the sky is amazing. They absolutely nailed it. What everything they said about being able to turn around fully and spin and be tracked perfectly, it was all true. You really get the sensation of being Iron Man, and when you upgrade your suit, that's when it really starts to shine, right? Because you get new weapons
mm,
and new abilities, and it's amazing. It really is amazing that the performance issues are in the mansion, because when you get in the skies, I mean, there are enemies everywhere, dude. It is overload and projectiles flying every which way. And never did it even slow down a bit when I was in the sky. So it really is the weirdest thing.
it makes you wonder what's going on in there. You know, something's going
Yeah.
on in in that mansion, dude. That's eating
Yeah.
resources or
What are
something.
they doing in the basement, right?
Yeah, there's probably like a dungeon down there or something. Yeah, or the
But
AI. I don't know.
I even enjoyed my play down there, despite the node-based teleportation. They do what they mean to achieve, and that is to progress the story. You go down on the ground, you talk to your AI servants. You have a couple of them,
Hmm.
and they kind of fill you in on what's happening with the story. And then I don't want to uh, give away any of the story. So there are some twists and turns that kind of thrust you into gameplay situations quickly, but it's a good hub. The interactions with the story and the NPCs are very reminiscent of Defector. You have dialogue choices that aren't very consequential, much like Defector, um, but they do affect the dialogue a little bit. And the NPCs very much look like the NPCs from Defector, and the movement, like I said, it's like from Batman. So uh, again, when you're in between action sequences, you're basically just coming in to get some details, get some upgrades, and then choose where you're going next.
Man, let's be honest. Really, if that's the time you're going to teleport node to node, that'd be it, right? I'm just going in to check things out, learn the story. I don't really need to be walking. I guess that to me that is kind of a small gripe for, like, if it was I mean, the Blood and Truth, I can see it because it's during the action scenes. Now we saw the good in it, like you could focus on the gunplay a little bit more because you're not worrying about moving so much. But this is absolutely just story time.
Yeah, and
Uh,
it was a bit more intuitive, the movement in Blood and Truth, because it had to be, right? You were moving around during action scenes. If you're going to have node based during something like that kind of a action gameplay, it has to be butter smooth. It has to be intuitive. It has to be something that you don't think about. And it very much was in Blood and Truth. They nailed node based in that. This is just, okay, it's tolerable. I think it's funny how everybody has their own standards, right, of what they're willing to accept and what they're not. Some people really hammer home that VR needs to be simulation like, where, I tend to come from the mind of thought that I'm okay with it just being a game. I love just being in the game. There are other things that uh, don't allow me to fully believe that it's the real deal. So the teleportation is just one more thing.
yeah. Yeah, and you just don't think about it after a while. I don't anyway.
No, and honestly, loading screens aside, and teleportation aside, and reprojection and performance issues aside, it still isn't enough to break the game for me. I still really enjoy my time in this game. I have every intention in going back out and finishing it. The action sequences are just intense, dude. It's so fun. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a learning curve. Like, there's a lot you can do with this Iron Man suit, and it takes a while to get it all. But the good thing is that they have practice courses, time trials set up that kind of just work into the game, and kind of an in between the the mansion and the action scenes, there are a couple of different time trials that you can repeat as many times as you want, and the better you do at them, the more you can upgrade your suit. So it gives you incentive to sit there and actually practice a little bit. And after you run through the time trials a few times, then you can get your superhero on. Then you feel like a badass.
Oh, nice. So let me ask you this: do you think this? You said this might come to another platform at some point. I mean, there's no one said anything about it, but if it would be cool if it did, do you think it'd be a better game on PC?
I think that it would be a better game uh, today on PC than it is in its current 3-day old state.
Yeah.
With that said, they're going to continue to optimize this game. And again, 3 or 4 months from now, we're all going to have PS5s anyway, and it's not going to matter. So yeah, I think today it would be better on PC, but by the time you see it on PC, I don't think that will necessarily be the case.
Okay. Yeah, I just remembered my headset's not working. Damn it. It's not fair. I got a troubleshooting nightmare. I got to figure out. I got to get it working soon because we got to do that video.
Dude, trust me, this shit happens, and it'll go away. It'll go away as quickly as it came.
Okay, I believe you.
Anyway, yeah. So, $40. That's the other question, right? I feel like it's worth $40, and maybe I wouldn't have said that a year ago, but the pricing norms are different now, right? Like 30 is the new 20 and 40 is the new 30. This is a high quality game, and it's only going to get better. So it's the best example, hands down, of a superhero game that we have in all of VR right now, and that's the honest truth. So yeah, I think $40 is actually kind of a good price for it, especially when you consider all the replayability and things that they have in the time trials, and it's just fun to play. This is a story mode that you're going to play through again, just because it's going to be fun to play even after the story.
Cool. Yeah, sounds good. I want to go play it.
You should, and again, if anything I've said here gives you cause for pause, causes you to have any kind of concern, then just play the demo. Again, the demo is very. It gets better than the demo, but the demo is the intro to the game. It's the actual intro to the game. So, you'll get a very good idea where it's going from playing through the intro, and you'll know by the end of that demo whether or not you're going to like this game.
Yeah, cool. I think I would.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's a good game. And again, it just seems weird when one of these games comes out and people have anything negative to say about it. It just it's an odd thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, the Steam summer sale is still raging on for a few more days, but I feel like most of us have already made our purchases for the most part, what we're going to take advantage of. My friend here, Ruuts here, absolutely no different. Ruuts, we've been playing one of the games you picked up in the Steam sale recently, and in my opinion, it turned out pretty good. What did you think about Good Goliath?
Good Goliath. I thought, okay, it's gonna be a wave shooter. Then I found out right off the bat it's not a shooter at all. It's a wave thrower. Everything is literally throwing. And no, one of the reasons why I bought it is because I saw it was one of the games Mamefan doesn't have that was on his wish list. I was like, hey, he could check it out. No, I actually enjoyed it. I kind of second your opinion of what you were telling me on the Discord, that it's very addictive. You get in there, you start throwing and fighting all these bastards, you know what I mean? And it's just it's crazy. It's fun.
Yeah, dude, it surprised me. I expected it to be a pretty fun arcade style game. One of many in VR, to be quite honest. I didn't expect it to be just so addictive. This is very much a game of reflex, right? It's a game of throw and catch and dodge, and it's fun, dude. It gets hectic really quickly. Even though it's wave based, the intensity ramps up fairly fairly soon after you start playing, and it's hilarious. You know, they call it Good Goliath, but Roots, I asked you, is Goliath really good?
Well, I don't know. Like, they make it seem like he's good. They're the ones throwing the pitchforks and the bombs at me, and the king is, getting. I mean, he literally got giants after me. He's got all sorts of stuff. There's stuff in the gameplay or in some of these trailers I've never seen yet, and I played over an hour, so there's quite a bit of gameplay. Now, let me ask you this: did you find the booger hands?
The booger hands.
Yeah, like you can find different hands for your giant. I guess
Oh,
yeah, I got some hands that have boogers all over them. They're called booger hands. And
yeah. You find that stuff by destroying these little people's houses and things, right?
oh yeah, I didn't know that. I know I did destroy some stuff in the beginning, but no, what I thought was kind of cool is like everything's throwing. Even like you catch stuff, you got to throw something at something else to make something else come at you. Like the food, the cake, the bombs, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sorry, I was just getting a error message from YouTube here. You guys let me know if there's any kind of issues with the stream here. YouTube says there might be. So
That's weird.
yeah. No, but anyway, I had a lot of fun playing this game. Um, and I'm not so sure if Goliath is the good guy, man. Sure, these little people throw the pitchforks at him right off the bat, but they're scared, right? He's a giant walking into their town, and it's not like the pitchforks really hurt. I mean, they pretty much bounce off of you. So here you are raiding these people's town. They try to defend themselves, and what do? You pick them up and murder them brutally. And
Yeah.
that's what the object of this game is to murder the little people brutally and destroy their homes. And that, my friend, is hilarious.
Yeah, but
And it's a load of fun.
look at how angry they look when they're like flailing in their arms. They're like yelling at you. They're trying to kill you. I just think I think they are. I think they're evil and they're rude, and I need to kill some more.
Well, you would enjoy seeing what I did to these people. It was I took no prisoners. I had no mercy, Roots, and we pretty much destroyed. I played as long as I could. I'll just say that I had to get off of it and come and do the Monday show, but I played through two checkpoints. I think I played through. Played it a pretty good long while, well over an hour.
Did you make it to the king's castle?
The King's Castle.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Yeah, dude. There's like, I mean, what did you do in that hour? Because I literally played exactly an hour. I saw the stuff. There's like all sorts of sea creatures and there's stuff I've never seen, dude. So I guarantee there's probably 3 or 4 hours to this game at least. And what is it? $20, right? For the cost of admission?
I have no idea. I didn't. I was playing it out of your library, so I'm not.
Okay. I think it was
I'm not
20
exactly
bucks.
sure.
Yeah, I remember YouTube recently did start doing that, and I actually keep needing to change that. I'm looking at Top Chat myself. Thank you. I don't know. I don't know why they defaulted to that, but it's really weird, right?
Ray Delator says they're just peaceful protesters.
Yeah, real peaceful.
Yeah, yeah, right, exactly. Ray gets it. They're just peaceful protesters out there trying to defend their area here, and we're brutalizing them.
Yeah, and they throw themselves at you, and then they say you hit them with your face, and it's like, no, dude, you flung yourself with a catapult at me, bro. But
You,
no,
you know what the funny thing is, Roots, is I noticed that at first they actually were peaceful, but then I noticed some double agents coming in from the side, starting to break windows and get them all riled up, and that's when things really popped off.
Yeah, I saw piles of pitchforks laying all over the place for people to pick up and throw around. That's crazy,
Yeah.
dude. So
Yeah, no, right. So who could blame these little guys, right? I mean, they're pretty much being spurred on to make noise, right?
yeah, I'm seeing your point now. I think they are the victims, and Goliath is just evil, and he should just get hit and just lay down.
Right,
Well,
right. See, look that.
they captured him, right? That's how it starts. They captured him, and he easily broke free. So it's not like they innocently, like, he's broke free, and now he's like fighting him. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what the story is going on.
He's resisting clearly though, man. So he deserves whatever they do to him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
All right.
Uh,
Anyway, that's enough veiled talk. Hey, the AI didn't catch that, did they?
no, no, they can't because AI can't. It's kind of like memes. They don't know memes either. So
Anyway, no, dude, I was pleasantly surprised at just how good this game was, just how addictive the gameplay was. I didn't want to stop playing it, dude. I just was having so much fun. It's almost like playing. You ever watch during the Pro Bowl how they have those quarterback skills competitions where they're throwing and catching, and it's kind of like that same skill set where you're catching stuff and you're throwing short, medium, long range. It kind of felt like playing football in a way.
yeah, and it's not easy, dude. Like, you're trying to throw stuff at trying to hit, like, especially the bosses, like the big giant bosses. Like, you're trying to hit these little gems on their chest and in different areas. Like, there's at one point you knock the king's crown off and he's got a gem on his head, and I'm trying to throw this barrel and I keep missing, and then I got to go through the same loop again to get him to knock his head. And I'm like, you son of a bitch! I just want to kill the king, dude. That's all. So
Yeah, the best. I love the best part is when you start getting those TNT barrels, and if you time your next throw right, you can just keep chaining those TNT barrels together, and it's brutal, right? You're blowing up these dudes everywhere, and it's awesome. It's so much fun. It really is.
well, the best thing about it, at least so far, is the variety, because every level they're adding something new, just different things to do instead of just throwing pitchforks or whatever. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, $20 all day long on this. How about the graphical quality of it? Like I was severely impressed with just the load screen. That little screen where they're all dancing, kind of like in a spotlight, and there's fog. Uh, Talk a little bit about the scale in this game and just how cool looking it is to be a giant with all these little dudes running
It
around.
is cool, especially when they're like in your face screaming and like all pissed off trying to punch you, and it's kind of funny. I didn't like that load screen thing, Wes, because that, at least in a sense, it symbolized that I died and I had to restart. Because the boss I'm stuck on, I must have died like 3 or 4 times and I had to quit. And that's why I was frustrated. I was going to go in and beat him, Wes. I was ready to beat him, and then the game won't play for me. But now, so that those guys are dancing around that circle, kind of taunting Ruuts because he didn't beat the boss. But those boss spot fights aren't easy either, so that's kind of cool. That there's
Yeah,
a skill level to it.
I think I only fought one boss. Well, I don't know. There might have been more than one. I fought that giant, the other giant. That was kind of a boss, but I didn't think it was all that difficult. You just had to get these TNT barrels and whack him in the head with them a few times, and he falls.
Yeah, Phil Yarn just
But
said he impulse bought a index. He
an
finally,
index.
yeah, he finally got in on the list, and he said he thinks he just impulse bought himself an index. Congratulations, Phil Yarn. Enjoy. Audica.
Well, that's what I said, right? It's the season. Everybody has hardware fever right now, dude. It's been over a year since we bought new headsets, and we don't know what to do. So I think I'm going to immediately after the show pre-order my reverb.
You better, because Phil Yarn also pre-ordered the reverb as well.
It's raining headsets, man.
Yeah, well, it's good because he's going to get the index. He can do a comparison and then just return whichever one he doesn't want. You know. And
Yeah, at this rate, he might could get a review out before Sebastian. Man, I have waited all week for Sebastian's review of this thing, and I just can't wait no more, dude.
yeah, I still think that he would have mentioned the tracking being a really good feature if it was that upgraded. I have a feeling it's still going to be subpar compared to everything else. Still good, but we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's going to be better than Gen 1, obviously. I
Yeah,
mean, it
has to
couldn't
be.
get any worse with having twice as many cameras on it. So yeah, I expect it to be I expect it to be good. Honestly, I don't. I'm not saying that it'll be as good as like the Rift S, but I expect it to be way better than Gen One WMR.
Yeah.
I expect I
Oh,
expect it to be closer to Rift S than Gen One WMR.
me too. Onikazi, it's true. There's a lot of things that will damage you if you grab it too soon. That's how I kept dying to that stupid giant. I was trying to grab. What was I trying to grab? Something I don't know, but I was like, how the hell am I?
Rocks. Uh,
Yeah, those rocks. You're smashing those
right.
rocks, right? You got to smash them right, and then grab the blue orb. This is a pretty cool game for what it is. It seems very basic, but it's just different. And the fact that you're having to throw all these different objects at different times in different ways, and um, it's just it's cool.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's not a whole lot more to say about it, right? The production values are great, and the game concept is just fun to do, right? It's fun to play,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
what more can you ask for, right?
Definitely worth picking up. I did. I must have got it on sale. I don't even know. And now I need to know what it's cost. Um, but
In real time, RT.
yeah, but it's definitely worth picking up.
Yeah, it just feels so good when those TNT guys start making their way and running their route through the thing. You can time it out. There's always one coming, right? So you grab the TNT barrel and you wait for the next TNT guy to get in a group of people, kill him, and then it throws you another one, and you can just keep doing that if you're accurate with your throws. Which, by the way, not the easiest thing in the world to be accurate with.
No, it's actually like really throwing. It is $20, but I bought it for 10 because it's on sale right now for $10. So it's
Dude,
definitely worth $10 all day. $20, you could make the argument it's a wave shooter of sorts, different, but $10, no brainer.
yeah, you people go buy this for $10. Go do it now. It's fun, I promise. It's really good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess that's going to wrap up the what we've been playing segment and move us into our topic. And we kind of just switched topics on the fly routes because, in my opinion, we had some pretty big, significant news today, right?
Yeah, yeah, and it's funny because you asked about switching the topic, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then I saw it, and I was like, "Oh my god, that is huge news."
So we're going to talk about the state of AAA gaming because we learned today that we are in the early stages of development from a AAA open world VR game coming to us from Rockstar Games. And, immediately when people hear something like that, the speculation begins, right? Ooh, what's it going to be? Is it going to be Red Dead? Is it going to be GTA? Uh, is it going to be a new IP? Is it going to be the rest of the LA Noir game? Who knows? I'll tell you what, one thing is for sure, and that is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it's going to be, Roots. You know, and I know that it's going to be awesome. Name one game that these guys have ever put out that wasn't awesome.
Well, debatable. LA Noir VR people were upset because it wasn't the full game, but it still was awesome, and it's right, and it's full right. LA
Yep.
Noir, I love the original. I love the VR version. I'm excited about this news, and I wonder, is it going to be GTA 6? Is it going to be one of the other GTAs? Is it going to be Red Dead Redemption 1 or 2? Is it going to be, like you said, a new IP? I would love to see a sequel to LA Noir, like a whole different thing with Cole Phelps, or I don't know, man. I just think it would be really cool. I love detective games. So
Phil Yarn says Manhunt was meh. I didn't play Manhunt. Did you play Manhunt?
never heard of it. So
Well, there you go. That's what it's going to be then, Roots. Manhunt VR.
yeah, yeah, it'll be amazing. They're gonna do it right
Uh,
this time, Phil Yarn.
yeah, they're going to get it right.
Yeah.
No, but the good thing is the uh, the game's being developed at the Sydney-based Video Games Deluxe studio, which is the same studio that brought us LA Noir VR. So it isn't going to be these guys' first rodeo, so to speak, when it comes to VR. They've got experience to build on, right? And you've got to imagine that these guys have just been chomping at the bit since they released LA Noir to do their next VR project, right? Because anybody who touches VR loves VR.
Right. Yeah, and they said they've been with them for what, 7 years? They've been with Rockstar exclusively, and they're going to they're excited to put out this VR game, right? So
Yeah, and that's what we need more of, right? Big AAA open world titles. These are the games that people want, right? These are the types of games that sell headsets, and it's going to be big. It may be 2022, 2023 before we even see this game hit the market, but we can start talking about being excited about it now, not just because we know we're going to get a great game, but we know what this is going to do for VR as well.
no, and it just shows you the implications that Rockstar is ready to invest in VR again, and probably, I mean, I would imagine they're going to do it even better. Before it's like they did it, but they halfway did it. I think this time they're starting from the ground up. They're announcing it at the beginning, and they're just gonna, make our dreams
Well,
come true.
I think that it's significant, because Roy Schwartz says didn't they say GTA 5 was free to early PS5 owners?
Yeah.
Maybe VR for the 5. Uh, and it is actually a possibility, right? That we do get the PSVR support for that. I mean, Rockstar and Sony have always had a close relationship ever since the early days of uh, uh, of Rockstar, and they've made a lot of money together. So I wouldn't be surprised if this isn't like a GTA 5 VR. That at least it is likely that it's going to be a timed PSVR exclusive on the PlayStation 5.
Zaylen Maru says Max Payne VR? Question mark.
Hey, who
Yeah.
knows? I'm down,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I was just watching Summit play Max Payne last night. What do you think about Trackmania on a completely different subject? Phil Yarn, you keep talking about Trackmania being hella underrated. This is like the third stream I've seen you see that. Now you got me wanting to buy Trackmania. Is it good? Have you played it, Wes, or do we have
From
that?
what from what I understand, the like many of the PlayStation racing VR games, it's limited in scope, right? You don't get to play the whole game, and you get like time trials or something to that effect. Much like Drive Club, much like uh, GTA.
Mm.
You don't get like the full Trackmania experience, and unless I'm wrong about that, maybe they've patched it, but that's what comes to mind when I think about Trackmania.
Yeah, I don't know. What was the 10 game you recommended $10 game? That was
Good
Good
Goliath.
Goliath. Yeah, Good Goliath. What's up, Drew?
But anyway, yeah, Phil, we're gonna actually we were gonna talk a little bit about Ubisoft and what they've done for VR here in just a few minutes, because that's what our focus is today. It's the state of AAA VR today, and I feel like we're in a better place with regards to AAA VR games than we have been at any previous point in the history of VR. And we're coming off of Half-Life Alex, which got everyone's attention. And who knows, we might even have Half-Life Alex to thank for this Rockstar AAA open world VR game getting the green light.
I would say so. Because we said it before. We said it like at the end of the year before Alex even came out. We were saying how it was going to change things, right? And then you see the somebody said just a little while ago in the chat, EA. We got an announcement from EA. Now Rockstar. It's starting. This is how it starts. One big company after the next. And if they keep coming out and people keep getting so invested in VR, and they're actually pushing it now, even with especially because of all the weirdness in the world, they're really looking at VR as in a different way than they did 6 months ago, just because of the virus. So I think everything's coming together in a way that I couldn't have predicted. It's weird.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to EA, it's a little bit of a different situation with them because uh, the level and scope of game that they're going to be bringing us when they release Star Wars Squadrons is it's something that they've obviously been working on for years, right? They've been working on this game literally for years. This is one of those deals like Blood and Truth or Astrobot. You know, the Star Wars Battlefield One had a an X-wing flight, uh, VR experience in it. So you actually get a pilot an X-wing, and ever since that, people have been clamoring for the full game. Much like like I said, like Blood and Truth sprang out of PSVR Worlds, and Astrobot Rescue Mission sprang forth out of the Playroom VR. Star Wars Squadrons is springing forth out of Star Wars Battlefield 1. And the scope and quality of game that they're building here is surely going to be uh, unprecedented in this type of game in VR, in this type of space fighter, which we have plenty of already. This one's going to be big. It's going to be flat and VR. It's going to be completely cross-platform between, so everybody is going to be able to play together, which means the lobbies are going to stay full, and this game isn't going to go the way of Space Junkies.
Yeah. Yeah, and your friend's going to be playing it in VR and you don't have VR or vice versa, and you're going to want to get into VR. It's going to draw people in, and it's Star Wars.
Yeah, and I think it's big that they're doing this the way that any real multiplayer game should be done, and they're bundling it with a substantial story-based single-player campaign, and I think that's a big deal as well.
Yeah, what would you think about a Red Dead Redemption in VR, open world? Have you
Dude, I
played?
think it would be
Did
awesome.
Did
No,
you
I,
play the
I
first
haven't
one?
played it.
Oh, dude, the second one. I never played the first one, but this second one is just so badass, man, and it's funny, and the story, and the amount of things you can do just from town to town, and watching my son kill somebody, and then like dragging the bodies and hiding them or throwing them on a fire, and then the bounty hunters came, and it just gets out of control. And I can just imagine in VR it would be so fun.
Yeah, this game is actually toward the top of my Vorpex list. I'm going to try to hunt and see if there's a way I can play this game in VR.
Well, there is. I'm going to be playing it. I like to play it on virtual desktop, but it would definitely be better to play it in the actual full VR. So
Yeah, Phil Yarn says Space Junkies is a tragic tale of how not to price your VR multiplayer game. See, this goes back to exactly what we were just talking about. The Star Wars Squadrons is priced exactly the same as Space Junkies, and the big difference being two things. One being Star Wars, obviously it's Star Wars. Come on, and two being what we just said, that it's not just a multiplayer game. There's something for everyone here. You don't have to get in and play multiplayer, but if you do, you damn well better bet that there's going to be people in there waiting to play with you.
yeah, absolutely, and that's the key. So I think Space Junkie should have just learned from Pavlov, charged $10 from the beginning, and then maybe charged more. It's too late, you know. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this game, just as much as it points to EA being down with VR, I think it's an even larger sign that Disney and Star Wars is down with VR, right? Because I mean they've been hitting it heavy from day one. I mean, we've had Vader Immortal last year. There was a couple of actual Star Wars experiences even before Vader Immortal, official license experiences. But then Vader Immortal goes to PSVR, and they announce another Star Wars game for PC, and then we get news of the Squadrons game. So I mean, it's just VR game after VR game after experience after game. Star Wars gets it right.
yeah, absolutely. What do you think about why we keep forgetting about Medal, or I do, Medal of Honor? That game's still
Well,
coming.
it's interesting that you bring that up because EA actually is the publisher of Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. And for those of you, I mean, I'm sure that all of you know by now that Medal of Honor Above and Beyond is coming from Respawn Entertainment, which is actually the studio behind Titanfall, Apex Legends, Star Wars, Jedi Fallen Order. Uh, it's a well-renowned studio, and you know not only are people excited about this game because it's a Medal of Honor game, but they're excited because it's Respawn, and that's how good and how well regarded this dev company is. Is really that's the biggest selling point of the game is that it's coming from Respawn.
Yeah, Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's the thing is we got all these studios out there. It's kind of like we're getting closer to Kevin Bacon. You know, we were 7 degrees, and now we're 6 and 5. Pretty soon we're gonna be hanging out with him, and he's gonna be on our couch chilling. So I'm excited.
Delirium Drew says Space Junkies is fucking great. It actually, I can't disagree with that. It's a really good game. It's not my cup of tea. I'm not a big multiplayer guy, but it's a AAA space shooter in VR, and it's got a lot of variety to it. They've updated it a lot. I don't disagree with that at all. I think that it was ahead of its time. I think was the problem with Space Junkies.
Yeah, well, maybe we all own it. Like, I think I convinced you at some point. I kept telling you, dude, it's on sale, and then you bought it, and we never played it. Um, but like, we could probably get enough people to play our own lobby. We should try it sometime.
Yeah,
Phil Yarn,
yeah.
I'm looking at you, Phil Yarn.
Uh, Drew says we need to build a community. We need a Discord for VR multiplayer. Right now, it's a bunch of Discord YouTube channels, and there are good ones, but we need more players in many of them for multiplayer. I'm sure they're out there, dude. I'm sure that there's multiple Discord servers that are just dedicated to multiplayer. I'm a member of one right now that's dedicated to Boneworks multiplayer. Because did you know, Roots, that there's a Boneworks multiplayer mod out there now?
I did see that. You know, I know that there's one community Discord that has a looking for group channel. And it's just a channel. It's not a whole Discord for it, but you could go to Virtual Strangers Discord, Drew, and organize some looking for groups, man. That's what we usually do.
Yeah, well, that's true. No, that's kind of the point that he's making, is that there's a bunch of channels like ours that have our own little
niche,
our own little multiplayer channel. But what he's talking about is more like a central thing with hundreds of people in it at any given time that you could have as a go-to.
Yeah.
So we could go raid their stuff, and get a game together if we wanted to.
True.
Anyway, Medal of Honor. I mean, is there a game you're looking forward to more that's still coming this year, Roots?
No, not now. That's it. I want to see it. I want to. And that's what, World War II?
Yeah, it's based on
Scion's baby.
Yeah, and with historically accurate scenes and weaponry. I mean, they talked to veterans, Roots. They visited the sites of the battles, and photographed them with high-tech cameras. This is a legit AAA deal, and that's what we're talking about here today, right? These are the big ones. These are the ones that are going to sell headsets.
Well, and I was impressed with the wording of their tweet, right, or whatever it was, because they literally said they're excited about making a AAA open world VR game, which is what you want to hear from those developers specifically, because it could be any of these IPs. And I hope it is. I don't want a new IP from them. I want a Red Dead in VR or GTA 5. And if it's not anything else, it's garbage. No, it's not garbage, but it'll be interesting to see what it is, because, just watching this Red Dead 2 gameplay here makes me want to play it again, except for I'm a big fan of first person view.
Yeah, man, for sure. The AAA developers are getting on board. We have Rockstar, obviously we have EA and Respawn Entertainment, but what about Capcom, man? Capcom has been down for some time here, right? They brought us Resident Evil 7. It's highly likely that we're going to get Resident Evil Village as well. I mean, the rumor is that that's a done deal. PSVR support for Resident Evil Village is highly likely to come at this point. Again, for those of you who don't know, Resident Evil Village is a direct sequel to Resident Evil 7, which you can play in VR today, and is going to continue the story of Mia and Ethan Winters. So we're going to get to see what happened to our characters from RE7, and we're going to get a next-gen AAA VR experience on PlayStation 5, Roots. What more could you ask for?
Yeah, not much, right? What are the chances, though? What do you think the odds are that Resident Evil 8 comes out and it's not VR? I just don't see it being to me, it's zero. Like it makes no business sense with as successful as it was the first one on PlayStation.
Yeah, I think they said that they've had something close to 1 million players of Resident Evil 7 VR. And again, it's a PlayStation exclusive. It's not something you can do on any other platform. So basically, that's what it's almost like 1 out of 5 people who have a PSVR headset bought and played that game. I mean, that's pretty good. And Capcom's down. They've been down for some time, especially with Resident Evil 7. Uh, they they have a Resident Evil, or a couple actually, of Resident Evil location based VR experiences in Japan. So they're no strangers to VR at all.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just talking to my friend I sold the PlayStation VR to, and he had the opposite thought of Resident Evil 7. He said, "You told me Resident Evil 7 was good, and you were trying to." What did he say? He said something like you were trying to give him a heart attack or scared the hell out of him. He said he ripped that headset off, and he said, "No way." But I just laughed. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, how many horror games scare you like that? I mean, it takes something to scare me, and that game scares me. So
Yeah, I've never been that scared in my life. I've never dreaded going back into a certain levels like that one either. So
yeah, so obviously heavy support for Resident Evil 7 in VR. But did you know, Roots, that uh, they're opening another location-based VR experience? This one built around Mega Man. So obviously
really,
it's a Japan exclusive. It's not in the States, but it's at their Capcom Plaza arcade, and it's called Rockman over there. It's not Mega Man. He's a
hmm,
Rockman, but Rockman VR is releasing next week. Actually,
that's
it's
weird.
based on Mega Man 11.
So I wonder I mean, what the gameplay would be like. It's kind of interesting.
Well, it's a single player game that sees Dr. Wily put on his own headset to conquer the virtual world. So basically, it's going to be a Mega Man game. You're going to basically be blasting robots trying to keep Dr. Wily from taking over the virtual space.
Yeah, sounds cool. I don't know. I want to see what didn't they make Capcom made that. What was that other one? Goblin Ghost and Goblins, right? Or something.
Capcom's made so many different games, dude. Ray Delator said he'd love to see Dead Rising VR. Dude, that would be awesome, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ray Pope. Somebody, I think it was Shin from the Yogs cast, said that there was a point he noped out. It was because when you got a knife in the eye or something, he was like, "Nah, dude, I can't do this either." It's
Resident
definitely,
Evil 7.
yeah. Resident Evil 7's got some pretty scary parts. I'd like to see it in an actual PC headset as well, but
Well, dude, I'm moving past that. I've always wanted to see it high fidelity style, but PS5's coming, dude. November's not that far off. I'll just wait until then, and we'll check it out on that.
true, very true.
So yeah, big support. That Capcom Plaza arcade. I didn't even put it in the notes here, but Bandai Namco has a VR arcade right there with it too, with like Mario Kart VR and Pac-Man VR. There's all kinds of VR in Japan. It's like literally blowing up there, like it's about to do here.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. So Capcom, Respawn, EA, and Rockstar. What about Ubisoft, Roots? I feel like uh, Ubisoft's been ride or die since day one, right? They're the OGs when it comes to AAA VR, and I feel like they don't get the recognition that they deserve for that. They've had a ton of previous VR games, including Star Trek Bridge Crew, Transference, Space Junkies, Eagle Flight, Werewolves Within, and Track Mania Turbo that we were just talking about a moment ago. So I mean, Ubisoft's been bringing us AAA titles on the regular since day one, right?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, if you think about main companies, they're one of the first ones that got into VR. As far as aside from Sony, as far as the gaming companies you've heard of, I was kind of excited to hear of some of these games back in the day. Bridge Crew is really cool for what it is. I really enjoy it. So
Yeah, a bunch of those titles are really good. Transference is one of the best games I've ever played.
yeah, absolutely.
So we've got what they've done, and then we've got what they're doing, right? I mean, they it wasn't that long ago during one of their corporate investor meetings that they reaffirmed their support for VR and their belief in VR and the fact that they're going to continue to invest in the platform to help grow it, which is great to hear. And then you start to hear rumors that they've signed a deal with Oculus to produce two Oculus exclusive titles based on two of their largest IPs. So again, Ubisoft making moves, and people just keep looking for the announcement. When are we going to find out about these exclusives that are supposedly coming to Oculus?
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see what kind of game, what kind of IP they would bring. What do you think? What would be your favorite Ubisoft game? I'd love to say, is it the Division Ubisoft? I thought that was the.
Again, they're like Capcom, man. There are
Yeah.
so many games. It would be difficult uh, for me to, pick one without giving it some real thought.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there's.
Most people tend to think that these games are going to be Assassin's Creed and Splinter Cell.
Oh yeah.
Those are what people want. Those are the popular ones.
Well, it wasn't there some actual rumors to that a while back?
Yeah, that's what we're talking
You know,
about.
about
Those are
Assassin's Creed specifically, because you said some people, that's what people want. Well, it's kind of
Yeah, well,
because,
people keep getting faked out because like I said, we're watching for these titles to be announced, and Ubisoft, much like Capcom, much like Bandai Namco, uh, they're also very active in the Japanese location-based VR scene, right? So you know, they've announced location-based uh, titles based around these IPs and these franchises, Assassin's Creed specifically. So yeah, people keep keep getting sidetracked into thinking that the time has finally come. But I guess until we actually get a confirmation from Oculus or from Ubisoft, these are going to just remain in the realm of rumor, right?
yeah, yeah, true.
Anyway, it's a great time. It's a great time for AAA VR, and there are a number of big indies as well that we're waiting on. Great, games I would call AAA level of quality. Games like The Walking Dead Onslaught, games like After the Fall. Vertigo Games is getting to be a pretty big deal as well. Servios isn't the only big dog in the yard anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. There are a lot of games that seem to have fallen off the radar, but they're still out there. To speaking of radar, I'm still waiting for my Jesus radar. Very offended.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I would expect if we're going to get that game, it's going to be around Halloween, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's already, we're already midsummer, so it won't be long before we get there.
yeah, that's very true.
Anyway, but overall, I'd say the state of AAA VR is as strong as it's ever been. Again, coming off of the momentum of Half-Life Alyx, we continue to get these announcements of new AAA VR games that are going to take VR to places it's never been before, and games that are going to drive hardware sales into the months and years to come.
Yeah, I think this is one of them. Resident Evil 8. It's going to drive PS5 sales big time.
Absolutely. This is it's number one on my list, Roots. I'm not anticipating a game anymore, and I don't think I ever have anticipated a game more than I'm anticipating this one.
Yeah, it looks good.
Looks wonderful. Anyway, I think that's going to wrap up our talk on AAA gaming and thus wrap up the Monday show. What did you think? Be sure to let us know in the comments down below, and if you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell to stay up with all of our videos here on the Virtual Strangers channel. With that said, friends, I would like to thank you once again for watching, and for Roots, I'm Wes. We'll see you tomorrow, friends. Bye bye.
Take it easy, and congratulations, Dalen Rue, on your he gets the Pimax tomorrow. Wow.
Yeah, man.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I hope it's everything that you expect it to be.
Yeah, it's
So
artisan. Yeah, he's getting the artisan. So, all right. Yeah. Take it easy.